Like I always tell y'all, you come across all types of different people when you're locked up. And I'm not just talking about just with inmates, okay? You come across all type of different characters when it comes to prison guards also. For this one here, I'm going to be telling y'all about a female officer that was mean, evil, always tried inmates, but ended up losing her job. And it was all over a sex tape.
Haha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone, I'm a charger, don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. K Fraud TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, man. Today we're going to be talking about prison officers. But not just any prison officers. We're going to be talking about this one specific prison officer that kind of gave me a hard time when I was locked up. She was evil, okay? And when I say evil, I mean steady, you know, picking at things and steady, you know, insulting me. Not just me, though. Everybody. She just always had a slick remark. She would bring people to confinement for no reason. She was just real grimy. And she wanted everybody on the compound to be scared of her, you know? So when you'd see her, you know, it didn't even come to your mind, like, to try to flirt with her. It didn't even come to your mind to, like, try to be nice and, you know, compliment her. Because you didn't want her to even lock eyes on you. Because the moment she looks at you, she's going to say something nasty, some slick remark, you know, or possibly, oh, why you ain't got your shirt tucked in, you want to go to confinement, you ignorant, da-da-da-da, you know, she just would always, like, abuse her, you know, her rights as being an officer. And it was to the point to where it wasn't just, you know, inmates that tried to avoid her. There was other prison guards, too. You feel me? And it's crazy because at the end of the day, you know, every hard female has a weak spot. Has a sensitive area, you know, has a sensitive spot that can be touched by the right person. So when you're inside a prison, you know, and you're working there, you're going to have multiple people. You know, you have inmates in here that don't get to touch any other females in their life probably unless they get a prison guard. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be, you know, hearing compliments on a daily. You know, and somebody could be like just a nice individual and could be talking to a prison guard. And they can, in their mind, think you're just trying to have sexual relations with them and just be straight mean and try you. But not every single person is trying to smash you. You understand? Just because you're a female and, you know, they're a dude and everybody's in prison doesn't mean what they're saying is just to try to get in your pants. You feel me? They might just be a nice individual and you might just be taking it the wrong way, you know? Now, this female officer right here, I want to say her name was Miss Nixon or Miss Dixon or something like that. She had it out for me for no reason, okay? Anywhere I'd go, she would just call me out of line, get in my face, talk shit, and to make it worse, she chewed dip, you know what I'm saying? Now, Miss Nixon was the type, if she seen you smiling, having fun, talking, having a conversation, you and a friend of yours walking around the compound, you know, going around the rec yard, and y'all are talking about something, she'd run up and be like, hey, you two, with a real evil ass, like, grin, like a witch. She'd be like, you two, break it up. And you'll be like, we ain't doing nothing but talking. What'd you say? She'll run up, put you in handcuffs, take one of y'all to confinement. Like the stupidest shit ever. You know, she just did that because she didn't want you to enjoy yourself. It's like she was miserable, you know. And other guards that were cool would talk shit about her to us and let us know, oh yeah, that evil bitch this, that evil bitch that, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? And one day I was inside of the school building because old Fraud was trying to get himself an education, right? And when I was in the school building, you know, preparing to do my GED and all that stuff, they usually have one guard that walks through the school buildings, you know, that you know, you're in there with teachers and shit, but there's a guard that's going to usually do his rounds and walk through rather than just sit right in there and watch you. Well, today it was Miss Nixon or Miss Dixon, whatever it was. And I was like, damn. So every time she come to walk and do her rounds, You know, my face in the paper, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to like, you know, because like if you looked at her and she was walking, you know, and she looks and you're looking at her, she would go like just weird, like make face expression like she was just an evil bitch, you know? So she was in there that day, and every time she come through, I'd, you know, don't really want her making eye contact with me, you know what I'm saying? And once she came through a couple times, you know, I'd say like 3-4 hours later into school today, 4 guards ended up coming in there, 4 other guards. Now, when these 4 guards come in there, you know, I'm thinking like, oh shit, they must have did a shakedown in a dorm, found some type of contraband on somebody's bunk or hidden near somebody's bunk that is in school right now. So they're coming here to pick the inmates out who they're gonna like transport to, you know, confinement for contraband, because that's how it works. If they shake down inside of the dorm and you're at school, they're not gonna tell you. They're gonna just come there and scoop your ass up and bring you to the box for the contraband, you know? So I'm thinking that's why they're there. But no, they weren't. They were there for Miss Nixon. And it was crazy because I heard her start yelling at them. So everybody that's in the school building, like, it was basically like picture a classroom, a classroom, a classroom, a classroom, and there's a door that cuts through them all. But the front where we walk in at, you know, the inmates, the front, it's like windows with a walkway. So as we hear the yelling, every class jumps up and runs straight to the windows to see who's out there yelling, you know, thinking who they got. Is it one of our dogs or what happened? You know what I'm saying? And really, it was her. She was being escorted. And it was crazy because we're like, what the fuck is this? Believe it or not, a sex tape of hers actually ended up getting viral around on the compound, you know? And I heard of it before, you know, but I ain't really, I'm thinking like, hell no, who the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even a inmate, believe it or not. It was another guard. She was a white woman. The guard was a black guy. And not only did like, she was once like suspended, I guess, or put on leave or something, because there was rumors of her getting caught messing with this dude before, like up in the gun tower and at like a local park and, you know, different stuff like that, like behind the scenes, you know. But it ain't no big shocking because, you know, every you know, cat's got to be scratched, you know what I'm saying? So they're normal people just like us. She just happens to work there, you feel me? Now she's getting escorted off of the pound and getting, like, I guess, brought to the parking lot to leave because apparently, due to the sex tape, it happened on the compound's grounds. Like, it happened at the prison. You feel me? So when it all comes out and everything, you know, I'm thinking like she just got in trouble for something. But when it all came out and everything, we're hearing it was a sex tape, I'm like, man, I've been heard about that. You know what I'm saying? So there's this one cool officer that was there. And he was known, like, all in the neighborhood at that prison. Like, I guess, you know, when it came to, like, outside of their job, everybody knew everybody. You know, there was, like, a local bar that everybody hung out at. You know, there was, like, everybody knew each other outside of working at the prison. You know, because where I was at this time in the Panhandle, it was, like, such a small little hick town that everybody knew everybody outside, you know, of the gates that worked there. You know, they'd come together and stuff like that. And this dude here, I heard several officers telling me that he had a real credibility on the streets. He had a real good face card. Like, they'd be hanging out, celebrating, drinking at bars, all the officers, you know, outside of their work hours. And the one officer I'm talking about that was cool, he'd walk in there and he'd be hanging out. He's like the life of the party. And something happened with some guy, pulled a knife out on someone, and, you know, and he, like, defended him, and, you know, he's gotten into things on the streets outside of work. So he kind of, like, had respect from all the other officers that knew him outside of their job. He ends up telling me, hey, Harris. And I'm like, what's going on? He was like, about time they got rid of that bitch, right? And I'm like, hell yeah. He's like, did you see the tape? Right? So, of course, you know, in my mind, I'm like, is that a trick question? If I'm like, yeah, I seen it, then it's like, oh, you got a cell phone, right? Think about it. So I was like, nah, I ain't see it. Does it really exist? He's like, yeah, watch. And, like, when he goes like this and he says, watch, he had a hidden phone himself, because, you know, they're not allowed to bring phones on the compound. Guards, they literally got to leave their phones and shit up top in like a locker or something. They're not allowed to bring it on the pound unless you're like a captain or a white shirt. They do have phones on their hips, but I think it's just their work phone. You see what I'm saying? They do have them all right there, like clipped on their belt. So he pulled a phone out and he's in the laundry room and he's like, look, and it was Miss Nixon getting fucking tooken up through there, right? And the funny thing about it is it was skits. Like, it'd show like 5 seconds of her getting hit, and they'd be in like the parking lot of the prison. And then it would show another 5 seconds of her getting hit from a different position. And then they'd be like, you'd see the gates of like behind confinement, like the rec cages where everyone goes, you know, like that are in confinement, where they go to rec at. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you'll see the control booth. So she's obviously in the gun tower, or she's in like an officer station. So they made a skit of her getting hit like in multiple different places inside of a prison. And it happened to be our exact prison we were at. You see what I'm saying? And it was crazy to me because through it all, the guy that was hitting her never showed his face. You know, it was, you know, the one that was hitting her on the camera. It never showed his face, you know, but they already had speculations that she was once suspended, like I said, for messing with a black officer. You know what I'm saying? And apparently the black officer was married. So that same officer that she was messing with that was married, when they caught her for that, they basically, the guard was telling me that the dude's wife has to come and see if that's her man's private area in the video. Because it didn't show. It was like he was the cameraman. You feel me? Tearing old Miss Nixon up on the, you feel me, on the flick. And I was like, that's crazy, y'all. Like, and as flawed as she was to everybody in here, and as grimy as she is, you know, it was like, in my mind, I was like, she probably just was mean like that because she wanted someone to fuck the shit out of her. That's how I look at it. Like, she literally had to have been like that because she just wanted someone to just knock her walls down, you know, because you think about it and it's like, to know who she was and how she was, how like extra she was when it came to being snobby and rude and mean and ugly about things, it would show like she was miserable. She just seemed like a miserable person. You see what I'm saying? And I guess the dude that she got caught messing with, he wasn't willing to like leave his wife, you know, for her, even though they were messing with each other, like in local areas. You know, so it was like new to us on the compound when it came out, but it seemed like it was a secret they tried to keep from a while from the inmates. But people who already worked there, you know, whether it was the dude's homeboys that were other guards, they knew he was, you know, smashing her behind his wife's back and shit, and they talk about it. You feel me? Because the only one who didn't work there was her wife, is his wife, which was her like enemy, I guess, you know, her competition. You feel me? So, you know, people talk about it, you know, just like if you're hitting a female or the female's, you know, smashing you, she's telling her homegirls about you and you're telling your dog about the... So that's how it was going around. But it was like, you know, probably when they mention it and they talk about it, they don't say, you know, Miss Dixon was doing this or Miss Nixon or whatever. You know, they talk about her first name. You know, we don't know her first name as inmates. You know, I mean, we could eventually learn it, but we know them as their last name. You feel me? That's how it is. So they probably talk about her frequently, and they knew what was going on and everything like that. And due to her getting, you know, taken off the compound and I guess getting put on leave until they found out if it was the other male officer that was hitting her on camera, which kind of 9 times out of 10 it had to have been because it's inside of a prison. Think of it. Unless she was smashing another dude behind that dude's back. You feel me? So, but until they figured it all out, he got suspended temporarily. But throughout my bid, I never seen him come back either. So they probably brought it to the attention of the wife and said, we need you to look at this and tell us, is this your man's yada, yada, yada. And she already heard and suspected of drama one time and suspected him of cheating with her. Now you're going to question that woman about this tape and say, is that your man doing it? And it's inside of a prison where she works and he works. You feel me? It's common sense. Like, that's them. You feel me? And it's crazy because through it all, you know, the guard who was cool with inmates, the one that ended up showing a couple of us the tape and stuff like that, he told me, oh yeah, she's been a neighborhood freak for years. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, me and such and such. He named like 3 other guards of ours that like hit her. And I'm like, real shit? He was like, yeah, bro. He's like, man, we been, you know what I'm saying? And this and that. And then he was like, she'd come to the bars and shit late night like that, and she would just look at someone and be like, I'm going home with you tonight. And he would always say it like that, you tonight. Like, you feel me? And I'm like, I mean, it is what it is, you know? People got to live their life outside of their job. But it was just crazy to see a female officer who was so, like, grimy for no reason, you know, get fired and get put on leave due to that. You know, I never seen her again either, you know? And it was kind of like watching the worst female guard there, you know, lose her job. And I was happy to see her go because she was putting up such a deep cover. It was like, you look at it. If we got caught smashing a female guard inside of the prison, right? They put us under investigation and they ship us. You know, we get hit with, you know, staff relationship, stuff like that, right? Now, if you worked at, say, Best Buy, and you and a female employee of yours got hit, you know, getting caught smashing inside of the Best Buy, man, they'll probably file charges, bro. You're probably getting arrested for that shit. Fucking inside of the store and stuff like that, out in the open, public, whatever, and all that. Think about it. They would probably push that issue like that. And there, they didn't do that with her, you see? So they already gave her favoritism because they wanted to keep it under wrap. They didn't want it to be on the newspaper, all over the news, and stuff like that. Because it was such a small town that shit gets put in there, everybody knows about it. Like the first time she got caught, it was in the newspaper. When she got caught with the dude at the park and got put on suspension and stuff like that a while back. The same dude. It was in the newspaper locally. And everybody that was like from around there knew about it. Which everybody around there already is going to know about it from her getting suspended due to that. Because, like I said, they talk. You know, she probably didn't say nothing to the female guards about her getting, you know, dogged in these places. Or she probably let them know that they were sleeping together. And then he told his homeboys what he was doing. But a lot of people probably didn't know that it was inside of the prison. Now, it's crazy when you think about it because for a sex tape to like rise like that makes you wonder like who leaked it. It had to have been the guards. There's no other way for the sex tape to get out. If you think about it, these are 2 officers. They're the ones that did the sex tape. You know, they had to have sent it to somebody for it somehow to get in the inmate's hands. It has nothing to do with us inmates. You know, for us to see it or however it was, for it to get back to the warden or whoever, for them to get caught, they had to have shown somebody and sent it somewhere in order for it to be seen. So it's like, damn, I wonder if it was floating around a while in everybody's pockets. It was in everybody's phone, in the messages, in the messenger, or whatever it was. And they just kept it under wrap. Where inmates really didn't know, didn't care, because, you know, we got our own things going on in the compound. You know what I'm saying? And I've said this before, like, when I was in confinement, I remember late night, looking on Facebook, and I would just type in guards' names. That was at my camp, my institution. And I'd look on Facebook and I'd find them. And I'd see them having parties, drinking, getting crunk, turned up inside the captain's office on our compound. Like it was just Mrs. such and such's birthday last night. And it shows posted 21 hours ago. And it shows her like drinking and lounged up on the couch, kissing other officers and everything. When you see these things, that shit makes you look at them like they act like they too good for inmates. But really it's because they fucking someone already. It isn't that we're bad, we're not good enough. It's just they're already fucking somewhere, you know. But the thing is, they act like they're not. You know, they act like they're, you know, better. You feel me? And it'd be the same guards that you'll never see interact. You know, like when I seen the female guard on the couch laying across like 5 of the dudes and then she was kissing one of them. You know, I started like looking to see if I peeped their energy. And you'll see him over there not even paying her no mind. And her over there not even paying him no mind. And you would never suspect it's them 2 right there. That's how they try to keep it under wrap. You know what I'm saying? I seen one on Facebook of one of the captains, the lieutenants, where he was holding a bottle inside of the captain's office. He was holding a bottle and he had the bottom half of his uniform down to his ankles. So it was showing like his boxers, and he had a female guard bent over and had his hand on her ass. It was like this, like posing inside of the captain's office. Like something you would see somebody do that's a rapper or something. You know, like, don't get me wrong, you got a life to live. Shit, if I worked at the chain gang, I'd probably be doing the same type of shit. But it was just funny because these were older people. Boy, they weren't no young, you know, they weren't like urban. You know, they weren't like cool with people who would do stuff like that. But then they do stuff like that. You see? And it's like, I'm pretty sure the captain's not supposed to be in his boxers with his pants down to his ankle. The state issued a uniform with a bottle, with a female bent over his desk. You know, you got alcohol on prison property. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, same liquor they probably, you know, either took from us, but they're probably not going to drink our buck. But by them having a bottle, you know, they got a whole bottle. That means you brought contraband onto that institution. Every prison has that sign. No contraband allowed. Prohibited. So you took people to confinement for having a little bit of liquor. But you bring big old bottles and you party and hanging out like a rock star. You see what I'm saying? You see, it's different. You punish people for things that you would do yourself. It's like you punish people for breaking the law, but then you break the law. It never makes sense, because if you were someone that worked at a prison and say you weren't allowed to bring liquor in, and you brought liquor in and got caught, now you got sent to prison for that. Them guards would treat you like shit for that, but they do the same thing. You see? So when that female's sex tape emerged and me seeing her like naked when he was showing me the video, and I seen them positions and shit that she was, you know, getting aired out at, I'm like, damn, she a freak-a-leak, dog. You know what I'm saying? She a certified freak-a-leak. And it kind of made me wish I seen her again, because I know how she is, you feel me? Outside, you know, that uniform. You feel me? Getting that shirt put over her head and getting her hair yanked, getting grabbed by the throat. All that. When I seen that, I was like, damn, you feel me? Lady in the streets, freak in the bed. It makes sense, you know? But I wanted to come on here and share that with y'all to let y'all know how it went down. But one of the prison guards that I was thankful she, you know, lost her job just because of how crooked she was and flawed. She made your time miserable. You get what I'm saying? She literally, you don't know what these inmates got going on, man. You don't know. One of their family members could be on their dying bed, you know, and they're waiting to get on the phone to call them to say their goodbyes. And you know, like, there could be such just important things going on. And you look at her, she's trying to take it out on you just for looking at her. You know, and I'm not talking about like eye fucking her, looking at her like, no, I'm talking about like, you just be walking and you could be talking to someone and you happen to glance over just to see who's walking by you, and it's her. And she looks at you to see who's walking by, and y'all make eye contact. What are you looking at? Come here. Like, just for locking eyes real quick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad she ended up getting taken off the compound. But I will say, after seeing that flick that the guard showed us, she was about that life. You feel me? And part of me, you know, knowing how grimy she is and how like evil she was, part of me makes me wonder, was it her that leaked the tape? If you think about it. Because the dude obviously didn't want the tape out there because he's got a wife. He's trying all he can, and he was this close to being, you know, caught last time when they were investigated due to it. You know, but the wife still was with him for a reason. Now, who else would have wanted it out there? Her competition was the wife. She could have put the the sex tape out there and somehow sent it to someone, sent it to someone. Yeah, she lost her career and everything, but she put that dude's marriage on the line. And then maybe she felt like, since we got caught and your wife left you, you know, she was the only speed bump in the way, maybe she'll get him for good. You know what I'm saying? That's how girls think. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like maybe she's the one that leaked it. Normally it's the dude, you know, but I don't know with this situation. But I wanted to come on here and break it down and let y'all know about the whole sex tape situation. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. you know, at the end of the day, sex tapes ain't all that. You know, like, it ain't, oh my God, or nothing like that. You feel me? Like, we've all been in them, you know? But at the end of the day, inside of the chain gang, the little skits inside of the officer booth, by the rec cages, behind fucking confinement, in the parking lot, just, feel me? Fucking feet up like a field goal post. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is raw. You feel me? And I wanted to come on here and share that with y'all and get y'all's opinion. Let me know what y'all think. And if you're someone that's been locked up, where you were at, did you ever see, you know, guards that messed with other guards? Like, inmates messing with guards, people feel like it's tough, it's hard, it don't happen that much. It does. Told y'all before, I had a female officer. But when it's a guard on guard, and then it coming out as a sex tape, it's fire. You know, in my mind, I'm like, oh boy, that boy airing her out. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all drop in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Alright? I appreciate y'all watching. Like I always say, y'all make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, motherfuckers that got whiskers like this that you see everywhere you go. They're like this and like that. And they love cheese. Keep them out your circle, man. Until next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.
I'm a criminal, I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though.
I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though. Cause I'm a criminal, yeah, I'm a criminal.